Kath, Todd.
Hi.
Okay. Very good to see you. Thank you for coming in today, to visiting. Very excited to get this going and talking about things with you. First and foremost, how's your day been?
It's been pretty good. I'm off work now. Finished at lunchtime, so that's good.
Right, and you're a chiropractor, right?
Chiropractor, yeah. Had a busy day. Yeah, fully booked.
Very nice, and that's up in Monaville?
Just up in Monaville, yeah. 10 minutes from home, it's not too bad.
There you go. I live just down the road. Maybe you can fix me up.
Yeah, come in, we'll take a look at you.
I like
Might
that.
have to put you on my colleague though.
That's fair. Stronger hands?
Yes.
Good.
Canadian.
Good. Oh, there you go. That's nice.
Yeah.
Kath, how about you? How was your day?
My day was lovely. I went for coffee this morning with Angie and
Oh,
Karina.
very nice.
This was really nice. And then came back and gave the boy his first solids. The other little
Oh.
baby boy. He's 5 months old. So
Wow, he had his first solids.
He had his first
That's a
solids.
big step.
That is a big step.
Wow.
Yeah. So he
Good.
liked it.
Right.
He's asleep now. So
There
that's
we go.
okay.
So we might be getting a couple little interruptions.
Yes.
That's always fun. Keep things
Highly
exciting.
likely.
Yeah.
Keeping things excited. All right. Well, tell you a little bit about myself. Obviously, you came across me, and we've chatted a little bit on the phone. But I've just become a wedding celebrant, and I'm very excited just to kind of get the ball rolling. I like to bring maybe a fun kind of light levity to the whole process. I want you guys to enjoy your entire process. We don't want to make this a task at all because it's just such an important time in your lives, and we want this just to be as fun and as memorable as possible. So, I guess I'll ask a couple things about yourself. Have either of you been married before? Widowed?
No, I'm not.
No? So never
Were
valid?
you not sure?
I was looking at you.
Yeah. You were looking at me as if you weren't sure.
A bit of a pause on
There you go. There's a couple of skeletons out of the closet. Good. All right. Well, then, looking towards your wedding coming up, have you guys put in much thought, Kath? Have you kind of started to get some ideas about all this? As in, is it going to be a big wedding, a smaller wedding?
Yeah, so our wedding is going to be a big-ish wedding. There's
Yeah.
going to be 120 people.
Ooh, that's pretty big.
I know.
Yeah.
Notes.
But more of a party wedding. So
Right.
we just want everyone to come and have a big party and have a good time. It's not going to be sit down.
Okay.
We're going to have canapes.
Mhm.
And that's sort of the plan.
The theme.
The theme so far.
Right.
Just
Right.
a big party. That's it.
A lot of people were very relaxed.
See, that's always fun. Keep things light and moving.
That's how we came across you.
Oh, and you know what? Thanks. I appreciate that. That's kind of been that's what I'm trying to put out. So that's very nice that you picked that up. And then how about the venue? You've thought about it? You know where you guys want to be getting married?
Yeah. Actually, we have it booked in.
Oh, there you go.
Just up the road, you might be familiar with it, being a local Monaville Golf Club.
Wonderful golf club. That's a great track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played there before.
I've actually had a couple of my worst rounds of all time around Monaville there.
That was
Too busy looking at the ocean. So what a backdrop for a wedding.
Yeah, that's why we picked it.
Wow, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So wait, do they do that on? Like, where would the actual ceremony be held then? Is it outside or in?
Either. So there's a wet weather option.
Of course.
So we'll bring it up inside if it's raining,
Right.
like today.
Of course.
But otherwise, we get married just underneath the clubhouse there, just above the 18th green.
So that's just behind. Like that's where the windows are overlooking
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a spot.
It's such a nice
And that's all the ocean behind it.
Yeah.
That actually be really nice.
You don't get to see it though. You'll have your back.
Yeah, your back will be to the ocean.
What time is the wedding at?
3:30.
3:30.
Because you want to use daylight savings,
You right?
so we still get a bit more
Very
time to get married out there.
Of course.
Most of the golfers have cleared off.
Right. Okay. So what do? Do they just stop a couple of tee times?
No, they still go, but they're far enough away that you don't really hear.
Yeah, you don't see it. Okay.
So we went and checked it out when we first booked it.
Right.
And we were there about that time. We were there about 3:30. And it was nice. So there are still people around, but it is it's relatively
Right.
quiet. It's nice light because it's at the back of the building. If you left it too late, then you'd be in the shade by the time
Right.
the ceremony started.
Okay.
So that was the other thing with daylight savings. Obviously,
Yeah.
we wanted to not be in the dark if we're getting married.
Of course. Prefer a little bit of light for something like that.
Yeah.
It's good only,
I mean, the big reason why I was asking is because I just want to know where the sun's going to be in comparison to my eyes. 'Cause-
It's gonna be, well, sun rises in the east and sets in the west.
yes.
So
It'll
you
just
will
be-
actually kind of be facing,
You'll be staring straight into it.
yeah, straight
That's-
into the sun.
That's perfect because it's right on my nose.
Okay.
And it'll also be good lighting for your photos.
And let's be honest, that's the most important thing.
Exactly.
I was gonna save this till a little later on, but it's probably best that we tackle it now. Would you like me to have my mustache for the actual ceremony,
Ah.
or you want me to be clean shaven?
I'm a big mustache guy,
Look,
but cat hates.
I have a fear of moustaches.
Well, and you know what? That's very reasonable.
Yeah, they're
practical.
very
It's a
scary.
practical fear.
It's a very rational fear. No, I don't mind. I think I've seen pictures of you
Right.
at other weddings with your moustache. It's kind
Suits
of
you.
like adds a bit. Yeah, it suits you. And this coming from someone that's scared of them, so
You know what?
either way.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll kind of take that in, and
Surprise
As we go-
today, or-
as we go through the process, we can work out these things. But yes, I'll start growing today,
Okay.
just in case.
Thoughtful.
We want to have all our bases covered.
You've got 11 weeks, so
Yeah.
you
So
know,
there we go.
good one.
As for the actual venue, you've booked it. So have you spoken to them at all about PA systems, any electronics, any?
Do you know what? That's probably one thing we haven't, and I can definitely
Right.
chase that up and find out about that. I assume that they would, but again, yeah, I can chase it
Yeah,
up.
normally with venues like that, they do host a lot of weddings. They would have
Have
their
it.
own stuff,
Yeah,
but that's something that I can be on top of. I can get a hold of them
that would
because
be great.
I can also provide my own PA system.
Oh, cool.
So I have all the equipment if need be.
We would prefer it if you had like a Backstreet Boys wireless mic, hands free.
More of a 98 degrees guy. I've always considered myself a bit of a Nick Lachey,
Yeah.
but I
see it.
do know what you're saying, and that's actually much easier is having the little the earpiece because you get both hands free for, it can be a little more gestured. I like to accentuate what I'm saying. So that's good to know. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
I can find that number quite easily. Have you been dealing with a wedding planner there?
Yeah. Oh, she's just the event manager.
Right.
So Kate, her name is, but I can
Right.
give
I-
her email.
I can maybe meet up with her at the Newport Arms and we could just go over
Yeah,
some
flash,
stuff. Yeah,
flash a few things out.
talk some things out. Good. Okay. Well, that sounds like you got things pretty sorted there. A big part of what I want to talk to you today about is some kind of the legality and formality matters of it, and pertaining mainly to marriage documents. And there's going to be a few documents that you'll be needing to sign, including the actual certificates, the one you'll take home for the marriage certificate. But I'll get into that. So basically, this is all under the Australia's Marriage Act, 1961, Commonwealth, of course, and it just kind of outlines everything and all the steps that we as celebrants need to take to make sure that everything's covered, all the bases are covered, and it's legal. That's the important thing, right? Because we want this thing to go all the way.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Don't we ever? Hey, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right, so the first is the notice of intended marriage. It's a 4-page form, requires both of you to sign it, all your personal details. It states your intention to marry each other.
I
It-
think we filled that one out last time we saw you.
Right.
I think.
No,
No?
I don't think so,
Oh, okay.
because we haven't actually gone over any of them.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
we're just,
Oh, that was just the booking.
yes.
Oh, right.
Right. Good. Alright, so on top of that also acts as a record of me witnessing just the various documents that you've not been married and those kind of things that we spoke about. We can complete the form together just because it is quite a lot in there, so I can kind of help you out through the entire thing. It's not too tough a process. I have to receive this document no earlier than 18 months before the ceremony and no later than 1 month before the date of marriage. This gives me an opportunity to kind of fact check your age and some of the details that you give me. So with that, it'll need to be accompanied with official birth certificates to verify your ages, and if you can't produce either of those, then a statutory declaration as to whether it is, or the reason as to why it's unattainable, and the place and date of your birth, will be necessary.
That's alright. We've both got birth certificates, so that's fine.
That makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
You also need to supply your passports, as well as state your current marital status and declare your belief that there's no legal impediment to this marriage. It's a big one. So, following the
What would a legal impediment be?
just any sort of reasons why you think you shouldn't be married, and that could come down to maybe if you thought maybe she was currently married to someone else, or just a whole list of other things, and we can kind of discuss those in further detail when we go through it. So following that, we'll have to supply, I'll have to supply you guys with the Happily Ever Before and After brochure. So this just outlines just some obligations and consequences of marriage. It's a way to discuss some of the various information about relationship education, counseling, and the value and importance of both. So I'll discuss those a little bit more in a few minutes here. The other is the official certificate of marriage, and on the reverse side of that, it's a declaration of no legal impediment. So this is under Section 50 of the Marriage Act that we spoke about. For each marriage I solemnize, I must prepare a certificate for both the couple and a certificate to be entered into the marriage registry. The certificate will have your names prior to the marriage and will include the witnesses of the marriage, which I will send to the Office of Birth, Death, and Marriages within 14 days of the ceremony. Have you guys thought about who's going to witness the signing of the actual marriage, the day of the marriage, sorry?
Yeah.
Siblings.
Yeah, probably our siblings.
Kat's sister,
Right.
Bella, and my brother Alec.
Right, there we go, that'll make things easy. And, I mean, that can be changed all the way up until
Yeah.
minutes before.
And we don't
Nothing
need,
needs to be
no,
written
and
down.
we don't have any particular pens or anything like that anyone needs to sign it.
Right.
So we can probably just
Right,
shouldn't take too long on the day.
get to it, so,
Yeah, no retirement pens or anything like that.
well, you know, but that's always a nice touch, so, you
Okay.
got time to search for some nice pens.
Could you grab one for us?
Of course, and that's another thing is I can actually supply a little table, a nice tablecloth. Usually the venue will have something of their own,
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
but you know, I'll show you kind of what I have first,
Oh,
just so you
okay,
don't
yeah.
jump the gun.
What's your style?
Well, I'm a big tablecloth guy, so I'm actually glad that you asked that. Normally I'd go with maybe like a traditional plaid always looks nice, especially for an outdoor wedding.
Yeah.
Picnicky.
Yeah, very
Kind of like
picnicky because
picnic
outdoor
picnic.
vibes.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we'll still have some sunlight. You know, hopefully we'll be outside and knock on wood, we'll get some sun on that day. Nothing wrong with a wet wedding though.
Oh, might need some SPF 50 on me.
Yeah, or we'll get one of that. It's on a golf course, so we'll get one of those, the big card umbrellas that you carry around so
Or just
well.
sit inside the car.
Well, we can get one of the fan guys just to stand over you as well. Well, we had Wolfie come up and wipe the sweat off
Oh, don't worry.
Max's face,
That's
so
right,
we can employ him again to rub on the sunscreen.
Perfect.
It's basically the same
I
motion
don't have
anyway.
trust in that.
That's fair. All right. So the couple certificate, that the one that you guys be able to keep, it's called Form 15, and it'll have both your signatures, both the witnesses, as well as mine, and that's one you actually get to take home and keep, and you know, throw in the safety deposit box, that kind of thing. And then the marriage register is the last one, which is a completed copy of the front page of the official certificate of marriage. It has all the recorded details of marriage that I've solemnized, and just with those ones, that's basically all the documents. You'll just be keeping the one that you go home with. The other ones I'll keep, and then I'll be sending in. What we talked about beforehand, the relationship education. Following the completion of these forms, I'll provide information regarding relationship support services available around your area. You guys recently bought this place you're living in now,
Yep.
so I'm assuming you'll be here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of scour the Northern Beaches area, what's closest to you, what I think are the best options. I'll provide these details either through websites, phone numbers, other contact information. And yeah, there's other pre-marriage education courses as well in your area. They do include fees, but they'll offer benefits such as relationship enrichment programs, relationship crisis plans, and it's actually a statutory requirement that I will provide you with this Happily Ever Before and After brochure that I was speaking about. So this